Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Android Weekly / Q&A. I do have the chat board up on my right side. So first I will be going over the articles, and then I'm going to be going over exactly answering any questions you guys may have. And yeah, the articles, questions just kind of keep coming up. So if you can see, hopefully you can see everything. Hopefully I can see all of your comments. So yeah, hopefully everything will be fine. And yeah, all right. So let's kick it off and start with the articles this week. So first of all, in our articles, we're going to go over the LG Flex. So the LG Flex is supposedly coming to AT&T and T-Mobile. And in the picture we saw, essentially it looks like the LG Flex would be coming to T-Mobile first in February, and then AT&T in March. Now, LG is not verified if this is true, but we can pretty much expect this at CES announcement tomorrow if it is true. So we will see how that goes and if it is going to be true or not. So is it? I think it would be really good for LG because they didn't obviously do as good as they wanted to on the G2. They only sold, I believe, 3 million when their goal was to sell 10 million. That's obviously a huge loss. So they definitely need this, I would say. So that's going to be the first article. And the second one is the Moto G. So the Moto G has been making big headlines lately. So, and here's what happened. So originally we had 179 for a GSM version of the Moto G. Now Verizon and Boost Mobile have also thrown their head in. So Verizon has it going for $99. And the reason why this is so big is because this is a quad-core phone with Snapdragon 400 processor, 5 megapixels, all-day battery life. How does it do all-day battery life? Well, it's because it's not LTE. So on all the variants of the Moto G, it's not LTE, which means the reason why it costs less on Verizon and on Boost, which is powered by Sprint, is because for $99 you're having a 3G device. Now this also gives you longer battery life because LTE is one of the biggest drainers of battery. But it's just something to keep in mind that yes, it's a good deal. Like I believe if anyone breaks their phone, you might not even need insurance on a phone anymore. I would just like, oh, I broke my phone. I'm going to get this until my contract is up. Why not? It makes really a lot of sense to do that. So, but that's so Verizon. It's for $99. It's coming out January 9th. And then it's also coming to Boost Mobile as well for $100 after mail-in rebate because it's coming in at $129 normal price. And this is supposed to be on the 20th, or sorry, the 14th. Yeah, the 14th online and the 20th in stores. So for the Moto G on Boost Mobile. Is this a good deal? Absolutely. Like I said, I would really. I bought my phone outright with my last phone. I just didn't want to lose my unlimited 4G that I have on Verizon. So because of that, I do have unlimited 4G. But if I did have a contract and I did have my phone break or something like that, I would just get the Moto G instead for $100. Why not? It's I would say definitely worth it. Now, in other news, we had Acer come out with tablets. Now, I will reserve my final judgment till I see them in person. But one of my biggest things that I really can't stand about it is it's a $179. So first, what are the good things about it? It's a $179 tablet. It has Android 4.2. It's all aluminum, and everything like that. But here's my big gripe with it, and that is that this device is a 4:3 ratio. They're trying to copy Apple exactly, but here's the problem. Android isn't made for 4:3. We've seen this on other Android devices, and none of them have ever sold good. And this, guess what? This isn't going to do well either. It doesn't look good. You cannot do a platform that is made for 16:9 on a 4:3. It just won't look good. And this is one of my biggest gripes with this tablet. It's the A1 830. Now again, I will reserve final judgment until I get there, and I mean I would love to review it to try to see, maybe this changed my mind. Maybe Acer found a way to make it look good. But the reason why it's never worked before is because 4x3 does not work on Android, plain and simple. And then another funny, I thought this was really interesting in the week. So AT&T has said they will give up to $450 for customers to leave T-Mobile. Now, how does this break down? Well, the customer gets $200 once they subscribe to a smartphone plan. So they convert to the smartphone plan. They will get $200. Plus, they can get up to $250 for their trade-in. Now, most people will never get $250. Most likely going to get $100 or whatever the price is for a smartphone, because unless you just got your smartphone and leave T-Mobile right away, you're not going to get $250. But still, I mean, you're getting $300+ to join with AT&T from T-Mobile. So that's really compelling. Of course, the chairman, the CEO of T-Mobile, of course, fires right back and just shreds AT&T. He was like, "Oh, you're trying to buy your customers back. Guess what? It won't work. Look, you gave us money. We used it to build a bigger spectrum and uncarrier event." And he's really talking about how wait at CES what they're going to announce. So I'm really curious what they're going to announce because T-Mobile has shaken up the industry. They definitely have shaken up the industry. They did the carrier thing and they did the jump plan. It made every other company, all the main four, are now following T-Mobile's footsteps essentially. You have Verizon's Edge plan, you have AT&T's Next plan, and you have Sprint's One-Up plan. So they're moving in the right direction apparently, because if T-Mobile can make every other carrier follow them, I mean, that's pretty big, I would say. So really good for that part. You definitely have to give kudos to T-Mobile for stirring things up. So yes, I'm really curious to see what they will announce. And now we have a sale on Beats Audio. So for Beats Audio, we have a really interesting thing on HTC is again in the red. And unfortunately, this has been quite unfortunate because this company just cannot catch a break. I mean, they really just cannot catch a break. And it really sucks because the fact is that with this company now, that they're really hitting hard. I mean, Nokia just banned them from, I think, 2 countries in Europe now, and it's really hitting them hard. So really what they're at the point now is trying to get HTC back to where they want to be, but they're in the red again quarter over quarter, and I think this is like the, 9th consecutive quarter? It's been a lot that they've been in the red. However, because they sold their shares of Beats, now they got some more cash flow, and depending on how you see it, essentially, they either are down a couple of million or they're up a couple of million. Again, these are normally, so normally they would have been down 57.4 million, but instead they're up 23.2 million. The reason for this was just because of the fact that they sold the Beats. If they had the Beats still, it wouldn't do it. So, a lot is riding on their next phone. Their next phone has to be a big hit, and they really have to definitely make an impact. Because if they don't, they're pretty much just done. I mean, you can't keep sinking and eventually go up. I mean, it's unfortunate. It really is, but it's just definitely something that we're seeing with HTC, that they are just they're not picking themselves up, and it really is unfortunate. I mean, and I wish it could change. All right, so that was the articles portion of the day. I am not getting the chat for some reason, so I'm trying to get to the chat because I cannot see any of your comments right now. But yeah, hopefully I will be able to read the comments before this ends. I'm going to try to do something about that in a second, but first I'll start reading the questions. So one of the first questions that I was asked was regarding a tablet, and that was a pop-up that this person was having on a tablet. So this is Cherry Switzer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm notoriously bad at pronouncing names, so please forgive me if I'm announcing it wrong. So she asked, basically she's gotten pop-ups. I just wanted to regarding viruses on tablets. I got an app from Mobile One Market, and they and now all of a sudden, I get getting these pop-ups, and I don't know what's going on, and Air Detector has not worked. You have to get this new version of Air Detector. It is a better one. It is a better one. Let me just. I'm doing this live, of course. So there is a new Air Push app that's the best one right now because the old ones are not new. So it's actually called New Air Push Detector, and this is the one that I recommend you use. Let me see if I can just. Uh, Hopefully you guys can see that. That's the one you need to use nowadays. I will make a video on it, but it's called New Air Push Detector. It is the best current one. Fortunately, I have not done an updated version on, pop-ups on Android, and I do apologize for that. But hopefully that helps you out, and that should get rid of it. If not, you can always uninstall the app, which, if I'm correct, you have not done. So that's what I would recommend doing. Definitely for that purpose to do that. Okay. And sorry, I'm now seeing the comment section, but I don't know if I can. Okay, now I guess I can. So now I can see all the comments. All right, there we go. So if you have any questions to ask, feel free to ask them. If not, I'll just go over more questions that people have emailed me about. Thanks for posting the video on the Google. Sorry, Daniel Skelly asks, thanks for posting the YouTube video on Google Calendar. I downloaded the Google Calendar, but it came up with my birthdays from Facebook friends. I don't really want this, essentially. Went to Facebook settings, disabled Facebook notifying me about birthdays, but they still go on a Google Calendar. I tried uninstalling Google Calendar and reinstalling it, still no luck. Can I help you out with this? Yes. So it's actually a settings within Google Calendar. So if you go into the settings in Google Calendar, you will have something along the lines of view calendars or calendars to view, and you can actually select which ones you view on there and which ones you don't. And that's how it'll fix the problem. It's not on Facebook. You cannot do it on within Facebook itself. That is where you would do it. So yes, so it would not be on Facebook. So yes. And we're going to. I have a gal. Oh, sorry. Kylie Goldsmith. I believe that's it. I have a Galaxy S3. It seems to have a virus or something. I wanted to install Air Push Detector. You recommended. When I try to open the Play Store on my phone, it comes up for a second and then goes back to the App Store. Yeah, so this is actually a common thing I've seen, and this is usually how to fix it. So you usually fix this situation is when you have a problem and your Play Store is not opening. So you're clicking it and then it just closes right away. What you need to do is essentially go into the App Manager. So you're going to go into Settings. On the S3, you just scroll down till you hit App Manager. You hit App Manager. You're going to swipe over 3 times to the right and go to All Apps. Once you're in the All Apps section, what you're going to do is you're going to open up the All Apps, and you're going to see how you're going to see it pop up. And what's going to happen essentially is you're going to see the Play Store. Check to see if everything's on there. But what generally is happening is if you scroll all the way up, there's been something turned off or disabled, rather, especially if it's on GS3, it would be disabled. And usually it's something to do with Google Play services or Google something services, and that has somehow been disabled. I've seen it on a couple of phones now, so that's usually the best solution, and if you enable it, it'll work. The other thing you can do is you can go to Google Play Store and Google Play Services, force stop both of them, clear data, and then restore back to factory reset, or sorry, not factory reset, like uninstall so it's back to factory if there's any updates on any of those. Once you do that, it generally works. Do the first thing first, though. It's generally something all the way at the bottom that's been disabled. Somehow it got disabled. I don't know why. I don't know if this was an issue with the S3 and Note 2, but I've also seen it on LGs and random phones. So I'm just not sure how that happens, but that is generally the solution. It's even happened on my phone. So, all right, and now for I have a so sorry for Roman Rodriguez. I have a China Android tablet running 2.3.1. I tried running movies from Netflix on it, and while in the site, Netflix prompted me, said I had to download Windows Windows Silverlight. So yeah, essentially you can't get it to work and everything like that, and there's a very simple reason for that. You actually cannot make it work. The only thing that can run Windows Silverlight actually is a computer, as far as I know. iPads, Android, and even the Surface tablet itself cannot. The Surface RT or the Surface 2 cannot run Windows Silverlight. It's just not equipped to be able to do that. They can do Windows. They can do Adobe Flash, but they cannot do Windows Silverlight. It's nothing that it's not necessarily their fault. It's just saying that it cannot be done at this point. So it's just something I'm letting you know that it just can't be done as far as we know, at least. All right, so those were the questions that I had there for me. I don't know if these comments are just not updating. I've only had about 3 or 4 comments on here. So if that's just all we have, then I'll just continue to answer some other questions until I get some other comments. On the meantime, let's answer some other questions. So hopefully I'm answering all of your guys' questions. Push this tablet. Let's see. And later because about I have no idea. I'm not sure. Okay, this is, I just think, an interesting question. Daniela Areola asks, Mr. Android guy, I'm writing you a letter because I was about to buy the new iPhone 5S. I'm not sure yet if it's the best decision. I told my father told me about the Galaxy S4 was a better option. Tell me why I should get an Android instead of an iPhone. Do you think Android is better and why? I will be waiting for your answer. So, and I think this is cute, it was sent on an iPod. So, does the Android guy think Android is better than iOS? Yes. Why? That's a good question. So, why would Android be better? It's just a really funny question for me to answer. Why would Android be better than iOS? Trying to think of a really simple way to answer this. Okay, so for instance, on the S4 compared to the iPhone 5S, the simple answer I always give people is better camera, better battery life. That's just what I mean. It is. I've seen lots of different reviewers give different comparisons and all of that. I of course compared them as well on my channel. You can definitely feel free to see the camera comparison, as well as just full comparison between the two devices. But with Android, the simple answer I always give is, all right, on Android you do have a lot more choices. You can customize your phone, of course. And if you want the easy view, you just go into the app drawer and it's just like iOS. There's no difference. So that's the one thing I kind of say. If you just want basic, go to the app drawer on Android, and you essentially have an iOS device. The thing I always laugh at iOS is that when people jailbreak it, because if you jailbreak an iPhone, you should have just got an Android, because a jailbroken iPhone is pretty much an Android. It's pretty much the same thing. all the reasons you wanted to jailbreak the iOS device, getting free apps, having control over more things, having things like widgets on there, having, just everything you have on Android stock. You don't have to do anything like rooting or anything like that on Android to get that. You want a free app? You just Google, uh, Angry Birds APK, and there's the app. You download it, you put it on your device, and there you go. You never need to pay for an app on Android, which is good or bad, but people are usually willing to anyway. But that's the one thing that I usually kind of say is that generally you can kind of get the most bang for your buck with an Android too. When it costs you the same amount of money, you do have things like, better screen quality. I mean, the iPhone 5S is still a 480p screen. It's what is it? 1136 by 640, making it still not 720p, and just it's not as good. Anyone that always kind of goes over the different screen quality and everything, that will easily tell you that it's generally always going to be about the fact that you have the ability to just get a better quality screen, get a better quality camera, and it's I guess more freedom. Now, why would you choose an iOS device over Android? Well, if it's a first-time smartphone, if it's a really first-time smartphone user, that's generally what I kind of have always gotten. But on the S4 and the Note 3, you have like this really easy. It's an easy mode, like obnoxiously easy. But people like it. I've literally had people that switch from iPhone to Android use that instead. But yeah, those are kind of the reasons why I would say that I would recommend Android over that. It's just you have more options. You generally have a bit better quality on certain things, and that's why I would recommend it overall. So yes, and if you want to see other things, of course, just simply check out my channel, and you can see side-by-side comparisons. There are better phones out there than iPhone. There are, plain and simple. There are better battery life, better camera quality. Speed is always the thing that is iOS is always comparable because it's a very light thing. But the fact that you can do things like split screen, I mean, it's just more advanced. It really is more advanced. The only thing that Apple got credit for this year was a 64-bit processor that Samsung made, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's like 10% faster. Good job. And by the way, no Apple app actually utilizes it, with the exception of Apple apps. So every app on the App Store does not utilize 64-bit, with the exception of Apple's apps. Good job. No one cared. So yes, so those are some of the reasons why it's just more advanced. It's better off, and yeah, it is. It's just, at the end of the day, that's just my opinion. I'm not even gonna try. I don't even know how to. Yeah. Please, I got a tab 3, and the help icon on the upper right corner of the screen for Polaris Office is missing. How do I get? How can I learn more about stuff on the menu icon? From the help menu icon. So the help icon is missing on the upper right. That's because you have Polaris Office 4, which, if I'm not mistaken, the tab 3 should have Polaris Office 5, which just has a different interface. You should be able to click Menu on Polaris Office, and then it'll make it so that you can see exactly the app, it'll show you so you can have the app and everything like that. Any comments? Any questions you guys have? Any questions? No. I keep refreshing it every so often, but I think it should be auto putting it in, but we'll see. We will see. So yes, and I will answer one more question, and then if not, that'll be it. Hello, I really want. Jesus Garcia asked. Hello, I'm really having a problem with my Google Play card. I redeem it. I want to redeem it, I'm assuming. And $10 are there, but it tells me. Sorry, I'm trying to read between the lines here. It tells me that the payment method is declined. Please help me. It's my first time. Uh, I bought a Google Play gift card. So Jesus, it really seems like, so it seems like it went through. That from what it sounds like it went through, but it's not a valid payment method. Um, hmm. Unless it would be something. I'm not sure. If you're in the U.S., it's always a valid payment unless it is cheaper than what you're trying to buy. So, for instance, if it is a $10 gift card, you can now put it towards an $11 purchase or a $10.99 purchase. It can only be for a under $10 purchase. So I'm not sure if that's why. If it's grayed out and you're trying to do it, maybe that's why. But yeah, that's what I can see happening for that purpose. That or maybe it doesn't, why it doesn't have it there. But yeah, that's what I can think of. All right. And yeah, guys. So I think this is pretty much where we're going to call it a wrap. Answered some questions. Hopefully, next week, email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com. We will not be having, actually, I just realized we will not be having one of these next week simply for the fact that, of course, I will be at CES this week. So I will be at CES all this week coming up, and it should be a lot of fun. I hope to bring you guys a lot of videos on latest products and what they're going to announce, what LG is going to announce tomorrow morning, what Huawei is going to announce in the middle of the day, what Samsung's going to announce, I think at 2 p.m., and then Sony's going to announce later at night. So we have a lot of announcements coming out of CES and from other companies that I didn't just mention right now. NVIDIA's even having their thing right now, so I will jump on that after and kind of do a recap of what NVIDIA announced. But yeah, guys, hopefully you liked this new live version of Android Q&A and Android Weekly, and thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.